do this. Damn, Sega really did it, man. I'm proud of y'all. Shadow Generations. Look, I know I'm like 2 weeks late on this, but when you work in a warehouse, you just absolutely exhausted when you come home. And I shoot videos on the side too, so that takes up time. Follow me on Instagram, by the way, Yamakoji. But yeah, Shadow Generations was hyped up all year until release. The marketing for this game was great too, especially the mini movie Dark Beginnings, but I didn't watch that fully yet. I've only seen parts, and it still looks beautiful. This game is a great redemption for Shadow since that last fiasco of a game almost 20 years ago. Just thinking about playing that game gives me a headache all over again. But we're not here to dwell on the past. Well, we technically are, since this is Shadow's backstory, quote unquote, officially. And I say quote unquote officially because I'm not 100% sure if they saying everything in this game is canon. But the lower screen is beautiful. Look at them teasing us with the Childs, bro. That just, But it's a nice recall to how the Childs represented Sonic and Shadow in Adventure 2. I like the main menu as well with the music transition between Sonic and Shadow Generations. One thing Sega never played about when it came to Shadow is that boy's music. They always go full out with that rock/heavy metal. Once loading up the game, you can watch Shadow's story and you get the rundown of Shadow's past like we heard a million times. But this time they actually made Black Doom canon in his backstory. I also love the presentation they delivered too. The story starts up with Maria and Gerald walking into a lab where Shadow is stored. Beautiful graphics, by the way. And I believe this is actually Shadow's first time awakening as well because Gerald tells Shadow welcome. But it was all a memory as we flash to the present of Shadow standing alone in the same room. He receives a call from Rouge at Sonic's party. Bro, is that a Chaos Chow? Were they in the original cutscenes in Sonic Generations or am I tripping? Anyway, Shadow ain't coming to the party because Gun reported an alien disturbance on the Ark, and that Shadow speaks about it, that very same disturbance shows up. Look, let me go ahead and say this. When I was playing that first level, man, I was smiling damn near the whole time. I genuinely almost shed a tear. It was so fun. But I get into the gameplay and the levels after the story. So towards the end of the level, it comes to find out it's no other than Black Doom bitch ass again, and now we have to see what he's up to. Shadow finds a Chaos Emerald, but the time monster from the original Sonic Generation story pops out on him and transports Shadow to Limbo, and just like Sonic, we gotta play through everything to progress. The music is very ominous too, I love it. It really adds a mysterious kind of suspense. After the space colony Ark level, Shadow's in speculation about his new powers and he's shocked to see Maria across a strange lake and starts to have flashbacks that we've seen before. After defeating the Bio Lizard, Doom shows up through a hologram just like in the original Shadow Hedgehog game. But now they added some extra glitch-like effects that look nice as well. Doom waffles on about Shadow making great progress, and Shadow tries to swing on the hologram for some reason, but he does end up putting hands and feet on the eye, but he just pops back up anyway. Shadow wants to keep fighting, but Doom says nah, not right now, and dips. Leaving Sunset Heights, Shadow glances over and sees Maria running from the black aliens, and he comes through and saves her. Gerald shows up too, and they both confused on how Shadow got this strong. Shadow suspects that these versions of them are before things went awry on the Ark. He tells them to find somewhere safe to hide while he fixes everything. After finishing Kingdom Valley, nah bro, please don't tell me. Nah, but he didn't want nothing for real, he just looking for Froggy per usual. Anyway, Shadow runs into Sonic near City Escape, and he says the famous phrase,
"The Blue Hedgehog. Of all places."
And then a portal opens up and they both run into it and they suddenly in final chase again. They do the pose too, like bro, they just hitting every nail on their head when it comes to references and callbacks. Sonic and Shadow race just like in the final mission of SA2, and Sonic wins and takes off with what he thought was a Chaos Emerald, but Shadow reveals it was nothing but a fake. The classic okie doke tails and Sonic pulled on Eggman. Doom pops back up again to give his village speech, and it really pisses Shadow off this time, and Maria has to calm Shadow down, and she tells him about the origin of his name, meaning without light, there's only darkness, and a shadow can show you where to find the light. Beautiful. After defeating Mephiles, bro, so are they canonizing 06 at this point, or is it just some side game content for Shadow Generations? Cause I thought this game was basically his canon backstory. I don't know. Let me know in the comments though. So now the big fucking eyeball in the sky finally opens up, and Shadow knows it's finally time to end this, so he flies up to the eye and start the fight with Black Doom. Also, you have to go through Radical Highway to get to the final boss, and I can say that level was real in me, dude. I was fucking up the timing on the flips constantly. I don't know why I was so jittery and panicky on this level, but it was weird. After Radical Highway, we're finally face to face with Black Doom, and he transforms into Devil Doom, just like in the Shadow the Hedgehog game. Also, the angles in this cutscene from this fight was just great. Really in this game in general, all the angles and the poses. Beautiful, man. After defeating Devil Doom, he transforms into Neo Devil Doom, and all hell Shadow starts to play as he starts throwing all kinds of shit at you to throw you off. By the way, I was tripping on some parts where I obviously had the homing attack but kept hitting RT to boost forward. I don't know, man. I was just tired from work. You gotta cut me some slack. So after defeating Black Doom, Rouge pulls up on Shadow. Side note, I don't like Rouge's voice. I don't know how much of a hot take that is, but I just don't like it compared to the old one. It was like, her old voice was just so much more soothing, I guess you could say. But yeah, she tells Shadow about the time monster Sonic about to fight. But Shadow wants to talk to the professor and Maria first. But they start to fade away because defeating Black Doom is healing the timeline. This cutscene is really a tearjerker, man, because we get a lot of emotion out of Shadow too. As the professor and Maria fades away, Shadow takes off running to the time monster, and as he's running, you can see a tear fly through the sky and hit Rouge in the face. Man, you just gotta feel bad for Shadow and the shit he's went through, and that's the story. This was just simply amazing, dude. Like, no bullshit, one of the best games I played this year. I really feel like Sega is getting back in their groove when it comes to Sonic, and it's a fantastic thing to see as a fan. So let's get on to the gameplay. That first level was just great. It was pretty much a mix of Final Chase and the Arc level because of the enemies and the setting. They brought back the drop dash and his chaos control power from the original game, but it's different now. He actually slows down time and can maneuver through the stage and avoid enemies and oncoming projectiles like chaos control should be, compared to the original game where he just flew straight through the level. This quick time event part was cold, bro, using chaos control to stop this oncoming bullet, I guess it's a bullet, I don't know, and destroying it with Shadow Finesse, Chef's Kiss. And when Doom appeared and the level turned into some Doctor Strange shit, it was crazy. Look at my boy posing under the moon, man. Man, I don't know. They just really cooked up with this game, bro. Like, seriously. In my opinion, I'm not even trying to dick ride for real, but there were no bad levels. I don't care, they were all great. Also, something new implemented into the game is something called Doom Gears. When you collect them after a level, you can go to a portal to upgrade Shadow powers and unlock new moves. The moves include Doom Blast, Doom Morph, Doom Spear, Doom Wing, and Doom Surf. My favorite abilities were Doom Wing and Doom Surf. Doom Wing really wasn't usable until the end game, but still was fun to use. Doom Surf was the most useful and reliable one when you got in the water and had to fling objects at enemies, and it was just really smooth to control. And man, can we talk about how good that Bio Lizard fight was? I was low-key shocked when I saw that water in the middle of the stone ring, and I immediately knew it was about to be him. I love that they revamped the fight, but still kept it classic as well. And look, I'm not afraid to admit when I get cooked, so I can honestly say Metal Overlord was giving me the Robocock. I couldn't time the dodges to save my life at first, dude. I just don't know why I couldn't realize that the red flash just indicated when he was about to swing on me. I was tweaking. Other than that, it was a really fun boss fight. I enjoyed the Mephiles fight too, and am I tripping or does his voice sound different now? I'm not sure, but this was a great fight as well. Okay, so look. Kingdom Valley was a true example of the theory that if 06 had more time, it would have been a good game, because this stage was so good. I feel like the design of it was more thought out this time and well acclimated for the pacing of this game. Oh, and like I say time and time again, Sega did not play when it comes to that music. Chaos Island Act 2 had me feeling like I was at a nightclub on a Saturday. And man, I really love Sunset Heist design as well, especially when Black Doom comes through to make the level trippy. Rail Canyon is a good stage too. Honestly, I thought it was Radical Highway at first because they had the same bridge as that stage, but I guess it just took a few pieces from it. Oh yeah, speaking of pieces, when you're in the overworld, you can find these bolts and these pieces that allow you to open up these chests that got extra content and like artwork and music. I highly doubt that I got most of them, but I might try to go through and get all of them at one point. Same for the ranks and stages and bosses. I didn't S-rank all of them, but I think I'll do another playthrough of this game and attempt to get that. I feel like this game has a lot of replayability as well because of how short and fun it is. I've seen a few people mention that they should have added some levels from the 05 game, and honestly, I think that would have been cool. I didn't really like most of the stages back on that game. I mean, I really didn't like that game as a whole, but maybe this time around they could have showed the true potential of them with this game like they did Kingdom Valley. And like I said before, this game is a 10 out of 10. My only complaint is I wish it was longer, but I did enjoy what they gave us. But other than that, that's a wrap for this video, man. If you haven't played this game yet, I really highly recommend you go play this game. I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I'll see y'all in the next one.